Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just click the link in the show description to support now.
You're locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin, the show about pro wrestling and everything else. And you know, folks, I've been telling you all along that I feel like 2021, the year 2021, we are experiencing a new version of the Roaring 20s. I truly believe after everything we've gone through, especially in the past year and a half, that we can only go up from here. It's going to be positive. It's going to be fantastic. And we need to enjoy ourselves. We need to find safe ways, but we need to enjoy ourselves. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you appreciate them. Give people their flowers while you can still talk to them. Most importantly, just, enjoy life, man. That's what it's all about. And when I think about enjoying life, of course, pro wrestling is one of the things that pops up for me because I'm a lifelong fan, just like you out there. So, keeping up with that spirit, I was thinking to myself, I said, who are some of the pro wrestlers out there who really, I feel like 2021 is going to be their year? And I put out a couple of names, to kick off the new year. And I said, something, I'm going to have some of these folks on the show, or in this case, back on the show. So without further ado, welcome back to the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. I'm putting this out in the universe. She is going to have the most incredible 2021. She's going to go on a tear. And by the time this year is over, everyone's going to look back and say, damn, she owned 2021. She owned the Roaring 20s. I'm talking about the pride of Florida, Kaci Lennox. How are you, Kaci?
I'm good. How you doing? That was a nice intro.
Listen, I'm putting it out there. I think I did it on New Year's Day. I actually told the world that Kaci Lennox is one of the people that everyone needs to watch because she's going to have an incredible year. So I believe in you.
Thank you.
So you are the Ignite champion there, and you still have the Ignite Wrestling Championship. How's that going?
It's going well. It's actually right next to my bed. I sleep with it. I don't sleep with it. Oh my goodness. I sleep. I sleep right next to it every night. That and my platinum Diamonds Division Championship. But it's going well. I have a match coming up this Saturday, which I'm really excited for. It's been a very, very long time since we've had Ignite. So I'm excited. I'm ready to wrestle. I've missed wrestling so much.
Well, this is interesting here. So you sleep with the belt next to you. Is this so you can defend the Ignite championship in your sleep? Is that what's going on here?
I mean, 24/7. I'm a champion that never stops defending. It's like R-Truth in the 24/7 championship.
You hear that, R-Truth? So if you want some of the smoke, if you want to step up to Kaci Lennox for this Ignite Wrestling Women's Championship, come on. Put your big boy pants on there, R-Truth. I'm sure Kaci Lennox will lay the smackdown on you too. And Kaci, you just brought it up. Ignite Wrestling, the 5th anniversary show, Saturday, January 23rd. It's going to be an event. I know you folks have some surprises that are going to be on the card as well. But You're in the main event. And initially, you were only supposed to defend the Ignite Women's Championship against Dream Girl Ellie. Mm-hmm. But something happened here where this one-on-one contest between you and Dream Girl turned into a triple threat match where now they've added Aspyn Rose. And I got to tell you, Kaci, I am just completely upset about this. I don't understand how they could treat such a world-class athlete, a world-class champion like Kaci Lennox. How could they treat you this way to put you in a triple threat? How do you feel about this, Kaci?
Listen, I mean, like I said, I am a defending champion 24/7. It doesn't matter who I got to go against. And honestly, I know I have a fight against Ellie. She is a top competitor here in Florida. We've wrestled before. She's brought out the best in me. However, Aspyn Rose is a former Ignite Women's Champion who I did beat, but she is the former Ignite Women's Champion. She is the first Ignite Women's Champion. And I know that she's going to bring it. I've watched her get better in every single match that she's had since her and I have stepped foot in the ring together. But like I said, I'm ready to fight anybody. So they can make it a triple threat. They can make it a fatal 4-way. They could add whoever they want to add to this match. I'm still going to walk out as champion. I'm still going to defend my championship.
Well, and we know because you are just such an honorable defending champion. That's who you are, Kaci Lennox. That's why I truly believe 2021 is going to be your year. But listen, this is Duke Loves Rasslin. I got my finger on the pulse. I have all of my folks out there who feed me information on a continuous basis. So you're amongst friends here. I guess I can share a couple of things with you. And this is breaking news. Okay. So first of all, this dream girl, Ellie, I'm gonna tell you something that you probably don't know, Kaci. Okay. She sleeps like a rock. She doesn't even dream. Okay. So I'm going to put her business out there in the streets now. I'm telling you right now, Kaci, you may be able to go to the office at Ignite Wrestling and petition to get her off of the match because she's been saying that she's a dream girl. But how can you be a dream girl if you don't dream? It doesn't make any sense to me. So that's number one. And then this Aspyn Rose, she's never even been to Aspyn. Not only that, she doesn't even ski. So come on. Okay. So I don't know if this is useful information, this gossip or what have you here, Kaci, but I just want to let you know that in case you want to do something with it.
No, thank you. I'm going to take it into my match. And maybe Ellie will start dreaming, in our match, so that she can just stay on the sidelines and then I can pin Aspyn. We'll see. They are two very tough competitors though. So it's going to be a very grueling, hard match, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, I know you are. And listen, I have no doubt in my mind you are going to walk out the same way you walked in, and that is Ignite champion, because that is who you are, Kaci Lennox, one of the best out there. It's funny because when people Google you, it's amazing how much love and support that you have out there from all over the world. What do you attribute that to? Why do you think that you've made such an impact on the fans where they're so passionate about supporting you?
I would say, I guess I'm just very personable. I mean, I'm very much an open book. I share a lot of my life with the fans on social media, just in general. So yeah, I feel as if they feel as though I am, just like them. And I'm out here living my dream. They can be out there living their dream. So I feel like that's why I have such an amazing bond with so many of my fans. And I have so many fans all around the world because, to me, they're not just fans. They're my biggest support system. They're the people that help support my career.
Well, it's really fun to see. And again, they're so passionate. You're popular. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say because it's like, well, of course you're popular. You're a big wrestling star. You're a champion. But legitimately, everybody listening, Google Kaci Lennox and you'll see. I mean, she is absolutely popular. People love her and have nothing but positive things to say about her, which I think is really cool to see. We're coming off of one of the worst pandemics in the history of known history, in life. Mm-hmm. A lot of us, and I'm going to say us because I'm putting myself in here, a lot of us have packed on a couple extra pounds. Okay, we might have had while we're being home chefs, you might have had an extra slice of cake or an extra beer or what have you. But then there's Kaci Lennox, who is absolutely in incredible shape right now. What is going on? How come you didn't put on the pandemic weight, Kaci? How did you manage to maintain such great shape during all of this?
I cannot lie. I did put on some pandemic pounds, but working out has always been something that drives me, and it's I would say some kind of a stress reliever whenever I'm, not feeling it, or I just want to punch somebody or punch a wall or anything. I can just go to the gym, lift some weights, do heavy things, and then I feel so de-stressed. But just not working out, it makes me feel sluggish and, slower than I normally am. So I feel like that's why I have been able to maintain, the same body, yada, yada.
Indeed. And listen, I got to ask you this, and I know that you've already let me know, offline that, you can't reveal too much here, but hopefully we can get an exclusive. Come on, Kaci, you're amongst friends here. You had a match with AEW recently, which was such a thrill to see. I mean, you were on the grand stage and you were kicking butt and taking names. Can you share anything from that experience? I mean, what was that like, being in an AEW ring and making it happen out there?
So honestly, it was very nerve-wracking is not the word, but I was nervous. It was my first time, being on such a big stage outside of MLW. It was my first time being on such a big stage and actually wrestling. So I was so nervous, but thankfully I did get to have a match with someone that I trained with, someone that has taught me so much in this business, and someone that honestly had more faith in me than I did in myself. So huge shout out to Evilise for helping me get through that match, and huge shout out to AEW and Dustin Rhodes for, giving us this opportunity, and Cody and Tony Khan and everybody involved in the production. And, if it was not Evilise in my match, I don't know how I would do it. But she definitely got me through. So I'm very thankful, and hopefully I go back soon.
Well, you definitely look like you belong there. So, we all are hoping to see you back on TV soon. And if it's AEW, that would be fantastic, because you and Evilise, you rocked it out there. It was great.
Thank you.
Really great to see. And listen, I know one of you little smarks out there, you're going to be like, well, it was on the internet. It's on my TV. I have the YouTube app on my TV, so I'm literally watching it on the big screen, by the way. Okay. Kaci Lennox, she deserves the big screen. Okay. I'm not going to watch her on the small screen. It's got to be big. That's right. So, Kaci, once again, Saturday 23rd, what are we going to expect here? The 5th anniversary show, Ignite Wrestling. What's going to happen in the main event?
Yeah, you're going to have a banger of a main event. Like I said, that it's going to be hard hitting. I know that it's going to be a battle between 3 incredible female talents here in Florida. So yeah, that's what you're going to get. And I know it's the 5th anniversary. Like you said, Kim is going to have a handful of surprises. So just stay tuned. You guys have to either come to the show or wait till it gets posted. I'm going to walk out with my championship. That's what's going to happen.
And you hear that, folks. We're talking about women in the main event, because I'm telling you right now, that's what happens when you work hard, when you prove that you're the best of the best. You're kicking butt in AEW. You were just at a GCW event, beating up people. Now you're going to the Ignite Wrestling 5th anniversary show. You have a young lady who was the first champion, another young lady who wants to be champion. You're going to kick both of their butts. I mean, literally 2021 is the year of Kaci Lennox. There's no two ways about it. Why don't you let everybody know how they can keep up with what you have going on, Kaci? Because I know you got your social media, you got the websites, you got the photos, the whole 9 yards. Tell everybody how they can keep up with you.
So you guys can keep up with me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and all of my social media handles are exactly the same. It is the Kaci Lennox. And if you want to purchase merch, you can go to KaciLennox.com and pick whatever you want. I've got t-shirts on there. I've got pins. I've got calendars, pictures, a little bit of everything. So follow me on the Kaci Lennox and purchase my merch at KaciLennox.com.
I know a few of the listeners, they have some of your merch. There was one that was like a Sour Patch type of shirt there, right? That's a popular one there. That's a popular one.
Yeah, my favorite candy. Gotta love it.
That's right. Before I let you go, Kaci, because I know you're a busy person there, you're kicking everybody's butt and what have you. You're an accomplished photographer. You know, you're a professional. You know what you're doing as well. Not only is she great in front of the camera, folks, but she's excellent behind the camera as well. So I got a new phone, and it's one of those, you know, fancy A751, all these different weird numbers, but it's a Galaxy, and it has a 64 megapixel camera lens on there.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that existed. So do you have any tips? Now, listen, I don't, again, I gotta get back in the gym to work on my bikini body myself here. But do you have any tips on what I can do with this 64 megapixel camera?
Listen, I always say, take the picture from far away and then zoom in. Because to me, when you zoom in especially on your phone, when you zoom in, the quality is not that great. But if you take it from far away, you'll have, you know, more of the megapixels, and then you can just zoom in and it'll still be the same quality. So that's what I do.
And we hope that you zoom in on 2021 and continue to be one of the best wrestlers out there today. Kaci Lennox, once again, thank you for joining us on Duke Loves Wrestling podcast.
Thank you.
Fantastic talking to Ignite Wrestling champion Kaci Lennox. She's so great. And as I said, she's going to have an incredible 2021. There's no two ways about it. Keep an eye on her. I'm telling you, folks, I got a strong feeling that 2021 is the year of Kaci Lennox. That's right. You know, when I recorded that conversation, that was on January 20th, Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. And everything was great, right? So when you're listening to this complete episode here, it'll be the 21st of January and beyond of 2021 and beyond there. That's when the show airs every Thursday, as everybody knows there. I woke up to a very concerning voicemail from Ignite Wrestling CEO and President Kim Artlip. And needless to say, she's not too happy with me. So I'm gonna play this voicemail, and then I'll share some thoughts on the other side.
Hey Duke, it's Kim Artlip. So what the hell is going on over there? Have you lost your freaking mind? So I just heard you're talking to my champion, questioning how I book my shows and the way I set everything up. You know what? I don't tell you how to book your podcast. I don't tell you how to edit. I don't tell you anything what to do. I let you live over there in a little podcast land. So why don't you leave the booking to promoters and quit being a little keyboard warrior over there? I am sick to death of you nagging everything I goddamn do. I am sick to death of it. I got enough going on with a triple threat with Kaci Lennox, with an open challenge with Troy Hollywood, and everything else going on at my 50th anniversary show this Saturday at Walking Tree Brewery. I don't need your shit added to it. Unless you want to see me stop being little Miss Polite on social media, knock your shit off. And you know what? You don't like what I have to say? Put it on your fucking podcast.
So clearly Kim Artlip is not happy with me. So let me start from the beginning here. Ignite Wrestling CEO, President, Head Honcho, Kim Artlip, I apologize. You're right. I've never booked. I don't know anything about booking. I better shut my mouth because you're pretty serious here. And, you know, Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes, and I can't swim. And for anybody who doesn't know this here, word on the street is that Kim Artlip has some experience in sanitation. So I'm going to just apologize for everything I've ever said about Kim Artlip and Ignite Wrestling and the way that they book. I'm also going to apologize for everything I've never said about Ignite Wrestling, Kim Artlip, and the way that they book. I just don't want any problems, man, because I'm pretty sure she can mess me up, or at least get somebody on the roster to mess me up. I just don't want any problems. So I'm sorry, man. Jesus, you know, who knew podcasting was such a dangerous line of work? You know, literally, I got promoters leaving me messages. I thought it was bad when Tony Khan was in my inbox talking nonsense to me. But, you know, Kim Artlip, the difference between her and Tony is that Kim Artlip likes to beat people up for fun. And I don't like to get beat up. So I'm just going to leave that one alone. And, you know, I'm sorry. Goodness gracious. So, you know, folks, this week I'm going to do something fun. We're a couple of months away from the 5-year anniversary of Duke Loves Rasslin. I mean, it's been 5 years. There's been a lot that's gone on. I appreciate everyone who's listened from the beginning and folks who are even, you know, listening for the first time. And one of the things that I keep getting feedback on is that our archive is so vast. We've had so many great guests on the show. And for some of you newer listeners, you really want to go back in time and check it out. I mean, I'm telling you, just there's such great stuff, especially some of the banter that the Boston Bad Boy and I have had through the years. He's my on again, off again producer and sometimes co-host. You know, he's a big shot. The guy's a big shot. Sometimes he and I have butted heads a little bit on the air, and it's made for some pretty interesting and entertaining conversation. So I am going to play from January 26th of 2017. I am going to play that episode of Duke Loves Rasslin because I want you folks to hear some of the craziness that goes on there between the Boston Bad Boy and I. And, you know, I also had It's Still Real to Me, Damnit, Dave Wills, who's a great friend of the show. This is the first time I had him on Duke Loves Rasslin back in 2017. So this is episode 40. Okay, if you want to track it that way, this is episode 40 of the show. I'm going to play for the most part, the complete episode. Okay, I'm going to play the complete episode just to give some of you folks, especially if you've never heard it before, I think from a historical perspective, this is an interesting listen. Okay, and what I want you to listen out for is what are some of the things, especially when I do Run the Ropes, which is covering the top stories. I'm going to start with that. What were the top stories back in January of 2017, and how do they compare to January 2021? You know, what's changed since then, and what has remained the same? How has some of those things affected where we are today? I think that's interesting. So, you know, you'll hear the top stories, you'll hear the conversation with Dave Wills, and then towards the end, you're going to hear the Boston Bad Boy and I have a pretty heated debate about a couple of things WWE is up to at that time. And again, just listen out for what this means for where we are today, because it's all connected, right? So again, I am going to play episode 40 of Duke Loves Rasslin. I'm going to take a quick break and then we'll start that. And it'll take you all the way out to the end. So, you know, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others, folks. Enjoy this blast from the past. Kim Artlip, please don't beat me up. Thank you for being a guest this week as well, Kaci Lennox. Enjoy episode 40 of Duke Loves Rasslin. Once again, blast from the past here right now. It's still real to me, damn it!
You know, whether it's an impression or you crying, and I want it to be known that that's not the only time you cry during a show. Many times you whine and whinge. Boy. That is awful.
You're being.
You didn't have the emotion behind it.
You're being ridiculous.
You have to believe when you say that. You have to believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the expert now, right? Is that what's going on?
Listen,
right here?
I believe what I believe.
Yeah, that's the problem. You believe the wrong things.
Oh,
folks, welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin. I am the Duke, and yes, I do enjoy doing pro wrestling impersonations, and I'm going to keep on doing them no matter what our illustrious co-host, the Boston Bad Boy, says, and that includes pro wrestling fan impersonations.
Yeah, you know what? You do a great impression of a wrestling fan, considering you're not really a fan and you're a corporate shill.
Oh, God. You know,
you just come on here and you just like to just promote the agenda of the company, which many times goes against the will of the people.
You better watch your mouth, Boston Bad Boy, because you got to remember, okay, with Linda McMahon, she had her confirmation hearings going this week and what have you. With Donald Trump being the president of the United States, he's a WWE Hall of Famer. Now you have the former president of WWE. She's going to be part of the administration as well. You better watch out, Boston Bad Boy, okay? It may be time for you to kiss the ring of Vince McMahon just to be on the safe side, pal.
I'm just waiting for when Linda McMahon and Trump get into a disagreement about something, and then she pulls out the steel chair and gives it to him, because he sold the stunner pretty good. I mean, pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Did you see that? I sent you a note. There was an article where Steve Austin was talking about having to do the stunner.
Yes.
On Donald.
Yes.
And backstage, it was sort of Vince's idea, obviously.
Of course it was.
And Trump was all for it, but his people were not all for it.
They were mortified.
They were horrified that Donald Trump said, "Yeah, I'll go out on stage and get by Steve Austin, who's no lightweight." And so Steve's like, all right, I guess we'll do this. And I think he was a little apprehensive, too. He didn't want to, You don't want to kill the guy. He didn't want to kill the guy. And I guess Steve Austin said he sold it all right. Yeah. So in Steve's opinion, he sold the con all right. And I think we can all agree he sold the con on the American people pretty good, too.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think, that was just practice. It was a stepping stone. With Vince's help, again, from selling a Stone Cold Stunner to selling... some snake oil.
I don't know why. I don't sanction anything that he says here. Vince McMahon, please don't beat me up. Well, folks, Dave Wills, a.k.a. It's Still Real to Me, Damn It guy. He joins us for a fun interview today. Listen, this is a passionate dude, too, so I think you're really going to enjoy it. Yeah,
maybe you'll learn what passion is of being a fan, and you won't. Again, your icy corporate heart will melt a little bit.
You just... Some of the things you say, I don't even understand where they come from. Seriously, all right? We have more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke, all that plus Run the Ropes. But before we get to any of that, I want to thank you. That's right, you, the loyal listeners of Duke Loves Rasslin'. Thanks for tuning in on iTunes and all the other podcast apps. Thanks for sending me messages on Twitter and on Facebook at Duke Loves Rasslin'. A quick reminder, all of our shows are archived on YouTube. So if you missed any of the previous episodes, just type in Duke Loves Rasslin' and also hit that subscribe button. Keep sending us messages and keep listening, and we'll keep delivering top-notch podcast entertainment. Jack!
And keep agreeing with me, as they usually do, the fans.
I'm sick of this guy already, folks. I just want to let you know that. Nonetheless, it's time to run the ropes. I give my opinion on the top 5 stories in the world of professional wrestling. Let's go. Triple H called out for being out of shape. You heard that right, folks. Paul Triple H Levesque, a.k.a. the husband of Stephanie McMahon, future WWE Hall of Fame wrestler, and the executive vice president of talent, live events, and creative for the World Wrestling Entertainment. He was called out, get this, Congressman Cory Booker, during the Linda McMahon hearing regarding her nomination to be the head of the Small Business Administration. He actually called Triple H out of shape. I mean, I couldn't believe it. In fact, let's listen to what Congressman Booker had to say, and this is coming from C-SPAN. Roll a clip.
Senator Booker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McMahon, I want to thank you for being here. It means a lot to serve your country and to step forward and be willing to make the kind of sacrifices you're going to have to make in this position. So I'm grateful for your patriotism. I want to also just say when your daughter and son-in-law stood up, just want to say for the record that your daughter is far more fierce and intimidating than your son-in-law. That's sexist. Yes, well... He and I are about the same age, almost exactly the same age, and Paul's letting himself slip a little bit. So after this, maybe we should go to the Senate gym so I can give Triple H some triple help in getting back in shape.
Stephanie might could give you a mean hip toss.
Can you believe that? I mean, whoa.
What, that our tax dollars are being wasted on Cory Booker thinking he can do stand-up in front of Linda McMahon?
You will not disrespect Cory Booker like that. That's a congressman that you could set your watch to because he's a wrestling fan. Okay?
Apparently. He might not make it out of the building.
I know. He's lucky Triple H didn't give him pedigree.
Well, I think Triple H was the one that shouted out, you're right.
Yeah. Well, because Stephanie is tough, man. I'll tell you. She's no person to play with.
I have to say, I'm pretty confident that this is the first time a clip from C-SPAN has been played on a wrestling podcast. So, I mean, we might have made history there.
Listen, Cory Booker, shout out to you. And folks, who knows? Maybe Cory Booker will be at WrestleMania. Can you imagine the match? Triple H versus Cory Booker with Stephanie McMahon coming in and laying him out in the end, huh? Talk about some good times. Wow. Middle Kingdom Wrestling China with the season premiere. That's right, folks. They're back, as seen on MKW's Facebook page and also on their YouTube channel. The season premiere of Middle Kingdom Wrestling. Now, keep in mind, they're based out of China, but this is the Thailand edition. That's right. They traveled over to Thailand, and let me tell you something. The top stars like Selfie King, Ash, who's the most handsome movie star in the world, Big Sam with that Big Sam bomb, and even Dalton Bragg, the champion of MKW. They compete in some of the best matches that you'll see in all of Asia. Head over to Middle Kingdom Wrestling on YouTube and also follow them on Facebook for more action. Enjoy. Superfly Jimmy Snuka laid to rest. Yes, folks, a representative on behalf of Jimmy's wife, Carol, announced this week that the official funeral would take place Thursday, January 26, which happens to be today. Now, it happened in Florida, and hey, you know, the WWE Hall of Famer Superfly Jimmy Snuka, he died as a result of complications related to stomach cancer. Truly a tough way to end. I mean, you know, this guy had a star-studded career. He was one of the best built wrestlers in history. I mean, just a physical specimen. How will history remember Jimmy Snuka? Will it be because of his positive impact on the pro wrestling business, or will it be for the speculation that he literally got away with murder back in the 70s?
I think murder trumps everything when you know, the murder accusation.
You know, I've really been fighting with this one because I was a huge Jimmy Snuka fan.
Well, there have been times where you know, you're faced with that. Who was the big TV guy that shot the woman? He was all right, TV show of the 70s. He was a detective, and Sammy Davis Jr. sang the theme song.
Oh, man, tip of my tongue. Beretta, which is a great show, by the way.
Right. All right, so here's the guy, famous, and then he gets involved in something. Who cares? History doesn't care.
Yeah, it's true.
But there he is.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Snuka, and rest in peace to the other deceased. NXT TakeOver San Antonio this Saturday. According to WWE.com, this Saturday night, folks, the kickoff show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. NXT TakeOver San Antonio. It is an action-packed card. We have Asuka defending the NXT Women's Championship in a four-way dance. She's taking on Nikki Cross, who is very, very good in the ring, by the way. Billie Kay and also Peyton Royce. Now, listen, I expect Asuka to win this match, but eventually lose her title to Ember Moon, hopefully at WrestleMania. In the main event, NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura, he takes on glorious Bobby Roode. Now, this one is a tough one here, folks. If there was ever a time to get that belt off of Nakamura and put it on somebody credible, now is the time. I mean, Bobby Roode is over with this glorious gimmick, and this would free up Nakamura to move to the main roster and hopefully kick the face off of that no-good Roman Reigns, my arch nemesis. Yeah, Roman, did you really think you were going to get through the show without me mentioning your stinking name?
Did you think you were going to get through the show without me mentioning that people in real life don't have arch nemesis?
Well, he's mine.
Nemesis?
He is mine, okay? And Shinsuke Nakamura...
In your mind only.
Oh, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to kick his face off.
Listen. Batman knows that the Joker is his arch nemesis, and the Joker also knows that Batman's his, or Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. They're aware. No one else but you is aware that this guy is your arch nemesis, which makes it completely invalid.
Well, maybe somebody should let Roman Reigns know so we can be on the same page.
That'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah, hit the bell. WWE Royal Rumble this Sunday. That's right. Live from the Alamo Dome. Remember the Royal Rumble. That's right, folks. Roman Reigns, that piece of no good, you know what. He challenges Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. John Cena challenges AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We also have Bayley taking on Charlotte for the Women's Championship. That is going to be probably the match stealer of the night, by the way. But with all that said, the one thing that folks are going to be looking for, who's going to win the Royal Rumble match? That match is going to be at least an hour long, so strap yourselves in, folks, because this is going to be a lot going on. Every plan leading up to WrestleMania is going to take place during the Royal Rumble match. You're going to see people knocking each other around and having problems with each other, and you can bet your bottom dollar that's going to lead to a WrestleMania match. So what's going to happen here, my prediction, Undertaker wins, and then he takes on John Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Stay tuned. We'll find out. You've heard what I think. What do you think? Do you think I'm a jerk? Do you agree with me? Who knows? Head over to Facebook. Head over to Twitter. Type in Duke Loves Rasslin. Let your voice be heard. And that does it for Run the Ropes.
I got to say something, though, just to finish a point I was making earlier, not to go dark, but Robert Blake is who we were talking about, Beretta. Not in jail, right? So he was found not guilty. He was acquitted of murder.
Yep.
But then was found by a civil jury to be responsible for his wife's wrongful death.
Wrongful death.
And lawsuits and everything. But again, here's a guy. Now, yes, wrongful death, but people say, well, maybe you could, whatever. He was also a little rascal, by the way.
Yes.
I forgot that. So here's a guy totally tainted. If Superfly Jimmy Snuka was not criminally found guilty, there was a chance that a civil action could have been brought. Not that we will ever know. However, right there in and of itself is tainted. Unfortunately.
It's unfortunate, but it's true, folks. And I know that there are people who really care about Superfly who are going to say, why are you bringing that up?
Well, I think you have to discuss it.
You have to
and you have to discuss it honestly.
Okay, you have to do it. And to not do it, then you're talking about a lack of integrity there. And we're not lacking in the integrity market, folks.
No, I mean, but you want to
be fair.
You want to be fair.
That's it.
Phil Spector.
Yep.
Phil Spector.
Yep.
Another example.
Another one. Yeah.
Talk about defining a genre, but then get involved with these things, and you play with fire.
And once again, we understand that Snuka was never convicted.
Correct.
So let's put that out there.
Absolutely.
Nonetheless,
it's horrible to have a shadow hanging over the whole thing.
Yes, it is. Folks, up next, the ultimate pro wrestling fan, Dave Wills.
See, you can do it to a concert I just don't care, but one thing I do care about is Duke's wrestling. And I got what the guy has nothing but love for the business.
Folks, one of the beautiful things about pro wrestling is when done right, it can make you suspend all disbelief and wrap you up in a world of alternative facts. We cheer, we boo, we laugh, and yes, sometimes we even cry because it's just an emotional roller coaster. That's what the sport of professional wrestling does to us, folks. There is one fan who has taken the entire world by storm. I mean, this guy's gone viral with his reaction to this emotional roller coaster that we're talking about today. In fact, let's hear a bit of audio just to remind you folks of who this guy is.
Next question, Jeff. Where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Funk, for saying what needed to be said. I don't want to see another one of these.
Well, thank you.
Wow. I mean, you get chills every time you hear that because it really speaks to the raw and real emotion associated with being a pro wrestling fan. Folks, his name is Dave Wills, and he's joining us today on the Duke Loves Rasslin show. So let's just jump right into it. Hey, Dave, when you hear that audio, and even when you look at the video, are you able to go back to that time, and are you able to feel those emotions again?
I can remember definitely what it was like. As just for some background for some of your listeners, that took place in Spartanburg, South Carolina, on Tony Hunter's CCW tribute to Stark. That was back about 2005, I believe. And it was a Q&A. It had Terry Funk, the Midnight Express, the beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Lord Dennis Condrey, manager Jim Cornette, and also Bill Apter was the moderator. They had a guy named, I think, Jeff holding the microphone. Came over to me, he says, hey, and next question, where you at? And I just want to ask a question, and I got quite emotional. That was the week that one of the WWE guys went to rehab. That was also the week Eddie Guerrero had passed. So it was quite a interesting week. Plus, I was kind of emotional and everything. I'm not, women get attacked at being emotional, but that day I would actually cop to saying I was, because I got to meet Jerry the King Lawler, who grew up watching on Superstars of Wrestling here in Atlanta when he was in Memphis. I got to meet Jimmy Valiant. I got to meet great guy, Dr. Tom Pritchard. And I got to meet my favorite wrestler, the Barbarian. So, I'm over there and I'm hearing with someone asked Terry Funk, what, hey, is there anything, as far as you'd like to do? They ask everybody, is there anything you'd like to do or something you would like to have came back and done, a feud with someone or something? And Funk says, I'd like to have another match with Eddie Guerrero. And, of course, the crowd popped. It was huge. And it was, everybody still remember that. He even talked about, he said, the drug, he said the deaths in wrestling, I don't think he said the drug, but he said the deaths in wrestling are out of control. If any other business had this, I think he made a comment that, there'd be an investigation. He said, really, when you get right down to it, every town has a crack house. And if you were to find the one in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and trace it back for the last 5 years, you'll see they had way less deaths than professional wrestling. And that resonated with me. And then I was thinking about a lot of other things, the sacrifices the guys made. That, because I've seen Terry Funk barely able to walk very well, not able to walk very well. I've seen Harley Race in a wheelchair pretty much, being pushed in there. Bob Eaton wasn't getting around as well as he could. So I was thinking, I just want to thank him for what they did, because, sure, it's some entertainment, but sure, it's something where, some people were like, well, they got paid, they did their thing, that's one thing. Yeah, I understand. I get the stuntman argument. I don't agree with it. But, for everything you do, a price is paid. If you are, our new president, Donald Trump, you're going to pay the price, and you can't, conduct business as you always had. You can't do certain things, You can do other things because of what you've done. Same way on the reverse end, if you decide to do smack or you're a heroin addict, you're probably not going to be able to, do a lot of things that you did do, and you may be incarcerated or not have freedom and something like that. Sure, if you wrestle and take certain bumps, you're going to get hurt and your body's going to pay for it. However, the guys who I was looking at aren't the high spot artists of the day. And no one's made out of rubber, and sooner or later the bill's due. I think Matt Hardy may have talked about a bump card. You only got so many on there.
That's the truth.
And, it's like, if you were every day you went to work and you endured, a minor car crash, or you fell from a ladder every day about 6 feet, no matter how well you know how to land, it hurts. It hurts very badly. And while your body may be conditioned, you can, there's a thing called ring shape, stuff like that. Sooner or later, you got to pay the bill. And is the bill going to be paid as an early passing because you're, using painkillers or something? Is it going to be paid as you get older and barely can walk? Or God forbid, you're like Dynamite Kid, in a wheelchair, and, homeless for a while. And that's another thing I was thinking about. I was thinking of, man, I was talking about Cactus Jack's interview he did, Big Foley Mankind, in ECW, about how many of you guys have called up Dynamite Kid. Hey, thanks for the great bumps you've taken. Thanks for all those dives onto the concrete. Sorry you don't have a pot to piss in or one to throw it out of. Well, it's true. Read Pure Dynamite. Highly recommended by Dynamite Kid. It's something that people need to think about, but it's like every other generation. The older generation warning you of their excesses, and not everybody pays attention to it.
I gotta say that context is absolutely key here. I've always been interested in, in that clip we see of you. There's more to it. It sort of cuts off. And in doing this podcast with Duke, who's much more of an encyclopedic knowledge on wrestling than I am, and talking to guys like Dusty and Steve Cox who have sacrificed the body the way you're talking about. Fandom is fandom, and when you have these guys involved in your life, if you watch them on TV, you're going to shows, you genuinely care about them. I mean, so you see it's happening in real life. These are real people. It's not Star Trek or something.
Look at the outpouring of support just yesterday for Mary Tyler Moore. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, she lived a long life. She's 80 years old, but people are still upset. Oh, she was one of my favorite entertainers. I watched her show in the 70s to the in the early 70s to the mid 70s. Still, that's something.
It's a great example.
You let this person come in your home. You let this person come in your heart. You became a fan of this person. In wrestling, it's not so much where you're looking at, well, I'm Mary Tyler Moore, I play Mary Richards. It's, if you're looking at Dusty Rhodes, you're looking at Dusty
That's
Rhodes.
right. That's right.
Hardy, you're looking at Matt Hardy. There's not a lot of, while there is separation between the guy in the ring and the person, a lot of times it's not seen.
Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore wasn't a real reporter. She wasn't doing actual reporting while she was playing a reporter. These guys are really taking the hits out there.
Well, and here's the thing. Wrestling, in my opinion, is a hybrid of sports. Is a hybrid kind of entertainment, okay? Let's examine this. If you were to see, you can see acrobatics like you see at the circus. What's the circus cost? You're not going to have it in another couple of months. But Rickland Brothers is shutting down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But you get all these trapeze artists right in front of you. You also get a battle of good versus evil. You get real life superheroes taking on real life bad guys. You get muscular folks. You get simulated. You get
beer.
Athletic competition fights. When it's done right, there ain't a whole lot better. When it's done wrong, there ain't a whole lot worse.
Ain't that the truth?
And you get this all for like $10, $15, $20, whatever. You get these performers performing live in front of you. And granted, it's not Hamilton on Broadway, but come on,
Yeah, there isn't much difference.
These folks are up there, it's not the Falcons versus New England. Go Falcons.
Oh,
sorry.
That's right.
Here we
That's
go.
Right.
I'm in Atlanta. What can I say? I'm a long sucker, imagination sarcastic. But you follow what I'm saying. You don't see a lot of you go through all this stuff, and everybody, people want to say, well, they pick what they're doing. Well, yeah, they did. But hey, the NFL. You probably could have guessed they got a concussion. They improved their suing,
That's the truth. Hey, Dave, let me ask you a question.
You got to go out there, you got to go out there. While I understand certain things, I just want to stand up after that and tell them, hey, listen, thank you for your sacrifices. I don't want to see another one of these deaths. Thanks for what you did to your bodies and all the years of entertainment you gave me. Instead, it comes up, Mr. Buck, thanks for what you did to me. So I don't want to see another one of these. Okay. So everybody sees it as, okay, this is some dumbass Mark who thinks wrestling's real and just got smartened up and he's some kind of a joke and everything. He's a fat guy. So let's go ahead and make fun of him and poke fun at him, think he's not intelligent, whatever. Okay, I see that the clip could be funny, but, that's why, it didn't have to do with death in wrestling. I get it. If someone sees it for the entertainment, that's cool. I understand that. If it made you laugh, that's great. I'm proud for it. If you understand wrestling, you're a wrestling fan, and you think that, it's great, appreciate my passion, that's great, too. If you're a troll or a jerk and you're just picking on me for the hell of it, well, I got a message for you, too.
Here we go.
Okay. That's okay. I'm 42 years old. I have great self-esteem. I have great self-image. I know I'm fat. I was reminded of it 4 years of high school. If you're picking on me, you're leaving somebody else alone. Look at here. We got people in here dying in the streets. We got people being shot. We got people who, someone posts something on Facebook about their sexual orientation or gender identity, they go home and kill themselves. What are we doing? Yeah, if you want to go ahead and pick on, don't pick on people who may not can handle it, go ahead, laugh. I don't care. My self-esteem's good. I lay down every night and go to bed fine. Okay? Hey, I got a good job. My customers like me. My bosses like me. Hey, I got some great friends for many years. A lot of time it's jealousy. I've been able to get in the ring and I ring announce a match between the Midnight Express and the Powers of Pain.
Wow.
How many people have got to meet their favorite wrestler? I have, the Barbarian, many times.
That is hold on a second, Dave, because you're laying some heavy stuff on us here, and you just brought us into another level there. You actually ring announced a match between the Midnight Express and the Powers of Pain.
Yes, Warlord and Barbarian.
Yeah, so I mean, you said Barbarian is your favorite wrestler, right?
Absolutely, 100%. That's correct.
So tell us about that moment, and before you do, I want to bring something up here.
Sure.
I can remember the first time that I met the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who, absolutely, brother, you know it. You styling and profiling. And Ric Flair, literally, with the exception of my mother, Ric Flair is the most important person in the world to me because he was my hero growing up. Loved Ric Flair. He was always there every Saturday, every Sunday, 6:05 TBS at Superstation. I could turn on that TV and get lost in Ric Flair. So I met him as a young adult, Bayside Expo Center here in Boston. And, I got in line. I was one of the last people to make it into line. And when I finally got to the front and I was finally able to go up to him, I just could not contain myself. I had tears in my eyes, and I just shook his hand, and I said, Nature Boy, thank you very much for all that you've done, not only for the sport of professional wrestling, but for me personally. And
what you did was the same thing I did.
Bingo.
It's just the difference was it was a lot a few years ago, and guess what? There wasn't 15 billion correspondents for YouTube with the cell phone out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, then that was taken by what do you call it? But you get the point. And everybody has the thing emotionally that clicks.
That's
but
right.
Barbarian, one of my favorite wrestlers. Yes, I can tell you why. Well, she should have got a bigger push. She should be a champion. Yes, I could say that. I don't know why someone never booked Samoa Joe against Barbarian. I still love to see that match right now.
Wow.
But at the same time, other guys. I love Hacksaw. I loved Hacksaw Blitzkrieg, Hacksaw Duggan, of course. I also loved Buzz Sawyer. I thought he was great. Had no idea about the challenges he had. Loved Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. I got to later meet his parents, Tommy Gilbert, who is a great wrestler himself, and Peggy Gilbert. And it was very, very touching to be able to get to know them a little bit and everything. And I just think the world of them, and God bless Peggy, because, Tommy's gone, but some of the best people in the world. It's really amazing when you have opportunity for the guys you saw on TV, the guys you saw in the comic books, you get to meet Superman and Batman, and they have a cup of coffee with you. I got to go on Tosh.0.
I do remember seeing that. I do remember seeing that.
Cool. That was pretty cool.
But here's the thing. I'm up on Tosh.0, sitting eating enchiladas with Ted DiBiase, Coco Beware, and Sergeant Slaughter.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, freaking go.
Wow.
I belong in there.
Wow.
I've done some indie managing in Georgia, and I actually one of my buddies is Mr. Hughes, Curtis Hughes. He lives in Atlanta as well.
The big cat.
And yeah, absolutely. Well, great guy. We went up to in Memphis, probably 8 years ago or so. And he said, "You can be my manager." I go, "Drive in the car." Sure, I'd love to. And I'm up there on one side of the ring managing Mr. Hughes. The other side, it's beautiful Bobby Eaton and Jimmy Hart's managing him. And I'm thinking, one of these things is not like the other. Tell me which one doesn't belong. It's me.
Hold on a second, Dave.
Dave, I got to ask you. So you're dropping all these names. Duke's got his umbrella out. He's jealous. So Royal Rumble's coming up, right? And it's the first stop on the road to WrestleMania. If a guy like you, with all your buddies, now your Hall of Famer guys you're hanging out with.
I wouldn't say my Hall of Famer guys hang out with. That would be stretching the truth. I mean, what do you think I am? A fake news?
I don't know. Maybe. But if you're booking WrestleMania, what are you looking at?
What am I looking at?
If you have your choice.
What is the championship match at WrestleMania, Dave?
Oh, if I'm booking WrestleMania, and I'm going to skate past the question, but I'll come back. Number one, if I'm booking WrestleMania, I'm trying to get the most bang for the buck. It's all about the dollar when you're in the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably be Goldberg and Lesnar. I don't know if you have them win the Rumble or have them both go at the same time or what. If you have Undertaker in there, there's quite a few good choices. Yeah, I'm kind of skating around it, but I mean, there's a lot they can do. It's always interesting to see. If you want to go out there and get, give someone some immediate credibility, Samoa Joe being a guy to put the debut and, push him back up there. If you want to get Finn Balor back in the mix.
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, that would be a great idea.
Is there anybody you'd personally like to see win? Is there anyone you personally like to see on top, regardless of the money?
That's right.
Who do you want to see on top?
I really don't know. To be honest, I'm just happy to watch it and everything. I love Mania. And yeah, I'm avoiding the question. I've been watching political stuff.
Oh,
there's been too much news on everybody's lives these days.
Because you got a Hall of Famer president now. That's why. There. Okay.
No. Tell me about it. Ain't that the damnedest thing?
It sure is.
It's the Hall of Famer as the freaking president.
Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you. Now listen.
Linda McMahon's going to be taking care of small business.
I know she's involved in that too, which is just crazy. Listen, Dave, you got any family members you want to give a shout out to? This is a good chance for you.
Everybody, hey, I'm thankful for anybody who I've talked to. I really appreciate you guys having me on the air. I think this is great. I really have enjoyed this. If anybody want to contact me, you can go to @StillRealDave on Twitter. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I hadn't been up to the Northeast to do anything. They need a heel manager, face manager, whatever. Hey, and bring an announcer.
He does it all, folks. He does it all.
No, I can give you some credibility, or more important, hey, I'll take your money.
Speaking of which,
looking like a real worker, what can you say? Mr. Hughes, you taught me with.
That's right.
I'm looking to go viral myself and get away from Duke just because I'm sick of talking to him. And I want to know, what are the perks of going viral? There's got to be some cool perks. Come on, viral. You don't have any Ric Flair like ladies in limousines and things?
What are the perks of going viral? I don't know. I got to ring announcer. If people know who I am, I guess that's great. If I want to meet people. If I don't want to meet people, want to rob a bank, it's not good. I've been able to meet
I guess it depends on your motivation, right?
Well, exactly. I've been able to meet some. I've been able to meet some great guys. Okay, I've been able to meet some great fans. Some of the wrestlers came up and told me that's so flattering. I'm like, who am I? I'm just a fan, dude. That's all I am. I was in an extraordinary situation, but an ordinary person. I'm one of the people who, Steve Kerr said it before on Memphis Wrestling. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
That's right.
If someone asks me something, I'll be happy to go ahead and talk to them for a minute, and I understand it. No, I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert, because I'm not. I'm not really dropping names. I'm just someone who's been lucky to meet some of the guys that I more or less are my superheroes. I met the Super Friends. I met some great fans, and I think it's fantastic to be able to do that and all.
It is
like
cool.
I said,
You said it. You said it as you're the fan.
That's right.
And I think you hit on the. And I think that just what you said about being nice to people and embracing the fandom, and the wrestlers respond to that. And I think that's a hugely important thing for the community of fans and of wrestlers and for the sport.
It's amazing.
I appreciate that's very kind.
Listen, Dave. Hold on, Dave. Before I let you go, I gotta hit one very important topic.
Sure.
You were contacted by the DDP Yoga folks to do a review of the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts.
Sure.
And they actually filmed you doing the review.
That's correct, yes.
What does that feel like when you have Diamond Dallas Page, who's about to be in the Hall of Fame, and you have Jake the Snake Roberts, who is a Hall of Famer? What does it feel like that of all the people in the world, they contacted you to do that one spot? We'll end it on this here.
It's scary, because I know I should be doing DDP yoga right now instead of talking to you. Lose some of that behind. No, Dallas was great. They took great care of me. They were super nice. And I'm flattered just to be able to meet you guys and talk to y'all. And I really do thank you for your time and letting me on here. And I just want to say that
You see that? Now that's how you do it.
Oh, give
it's
me a
not
break.
often on the show that we get to compare the genuine article to your horrible impersonation or
Listen.
interpretation.
I deserve an A for effort, okay? At least I put in a good effort there.
No, I don't think that Dave would agree with that either.
I'm sure he wouldn't, actually. Listen, up next, the Boston Bad Boy has more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. But before we get to any of that, folks, stop the presses, okay? The Boston Bad Boy has been bragging about a local sandwich joint in the heart of East Boston. Boston Bad Boy, tell us about this new joint.
Yeah, well, not new. They've been around since like the 60s.
Well, how come I didn't hear? How come you didn't tell me about it?
Because you have to be in the inn to know. And you know what? You're in the circle. You and all the rest of our listeners.
Oh, gosh.
It's Roy's Cold Cuts in East Boston. Now,
Roy's.
most people probably know about Roy's because Roy does a hell of a business. And Roy is a great guy. You go in there, he's got it all set up. It's like a rock and roll museum in there. So when you're waiting for your sandwich, you get something to look at. It's very cool. Roy's balls out. Lunchtime, fight your way in.
Wow.
Okay? But you can order online. They do delivery. Roy's the man. They're on Marion Street in East Boston.
Okay.
Now, the nice thing about Roy's, too, is he has a little phone at the menu. My favorite sandwich.
Let's hear this.
Is the Godfather sub.
The Godfather sub.
Sometimes I need a little lunch. I gotta go in there. Roy takes care of me.
Why are you doing this?
It's the Godfather.
Why
That's
are you-
an
why are
impression,
you
by the
doing
way.
this? You're terrible.
Listen to this, though. Listen to this. Because every time I have to hear about Barnyard Cheese and I get hungry, you're going to listen to the Godfather. And here we go. Godfather sub. Imported prosciutto.
Whew.
Chicken cutlet that Roy makes in-house. Like a real, none of that frozen crap. Breaded chicken cutlet, nice and thin.
Wait. Prosciutto and chicken cutlet?
Yep.
Wow.
With tomato, fresh mozzarella, roasted peppers, and then a little oil and seasoning just to top it right off there.
Unbelievable.
The roasted peppers adds a nice little bit of heat.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
The Godfather sub. Now, if you check them out online, they get all kinds of stuff. They got another great sub name is the Edward Wolfgang Munster wrap. Get it? The Munsters?
Eddie Munster.
Yeah, that's right. So the food is unbelievable. The prices are unbelievable. Roy is an unbelievable human being. Big collector, music guy. Go talk music with him. And also they make the jars of the peppers that have the prosciutto and the cheese inside and the oil.
Love the stuffed peppers.
Oh, you gotta get those. You gotta get those. So Roy's, Marion Street, East Boston. Get your butt over there.
Check out Roy's, 198 Marion Street, folks. Enjoy.
Hey guys, this is Chelsea, the wrestling fan, and you're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
Shout out once again to Dave Wills. I mean, geez, that guy, he's something else. Huh?
There's a deep well of fandom in Dave.
Yes.
And it's great. You know what? I bet we didn't have time to get into it, but I'm sure he has other interests, and he's the kind of guy that will go all out for any of his interests.
You already know
other
that.
sports or hobbies or whatever.
Yep.
And like you said, he likes the fans. He likes being a fan. He likes being embraced by the fans and the wrestlers. And again, a guy like that sets a good example.
He really is. I
a better
appreciate
example than some of the wrestlers set when they come at the fans who adore them and pay money to see them.
All right.
The wrestlers could learn a little something from Dave.
Just
a little
stop
humanity.
it. Stop it right now. We were having a feel-good moment, and you ruined it.
No, I made a really valid point.
You're a piece of work. Before we go any further, though, I do want to give a couple of shout-outs. Rick Dara, shout out to him out there. I know he's a big supporter of our show here, and he has his own podcast that, hey, we may have to invade and do some
podcast
talking
Battle
on
of
there
the
as well.
Stars.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Talking about 70s TV shows.
I'm telling
you. Do you remember Network Battle of the Stars?
Loved it.
All right, so Network Battle of the Stars is so insane, and some people might not know what it was. It was basically all the big networks, CBS, ABC, NBC. They would do like a track and field day.
That's right.
With the actors from all the famous shows. I mean, Welcome Back, Kotter. So that's like late 70s, early 80s. The Dukes of Hazzard cast was there.
How fun
Well, the
was that?
funniest thing is, they're all smoking in between events.
Yeah.
So, like Telly Savalas smoking a cigarette in a cigarette holder, and then he does like the 100-meter dash against the guy from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Talk about an athlete. That's it. Have it your way, baby.
Or were they better athletes back then, or worse? I don't know, because they could actually. I mean, and no
Better
one died.
cigarettes back then. Who knows?
Maybe that's true.
Also, hey, happy birthday to Sasha Banks.
Oh boy, I'm surprised we didn't get to this
Sasha
earlier.
Banks, the boss.
What'd you get her for her birthday?
Man.
Did you send her like another creepy gift of like your toenails in a box or something?
Oh, give me a break. What's wrong with you?
Well, you do have an unhealthy obsession with Sasha Banks.
You continue to ruin everything, okay?
Here's the thing. You would totally nerd out in front of Sasha Banks. If we both met her, she'd sit down and talk to me and have a cocktail.
Oh, you think so?
She would be really weirded out by your obsessive vibe.
I'm pretty sure that Sasha Banks would love my company.
No.
She would love my company. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I'm the Duke.
Oh, boy. All right, Buffalo
That's
Bill.
So what do you have for...
Well, you called me out.
Duke.
You called me out, and we have some questions, and you know what? They're really mundane, to be honest with you, and we've covered some of them already. So I'm just going to skip ahead right to what I
you
want to
really
talk
have
about.
a poor habit going on here, pal.
Listen,
we
tell
advertise.
your people to send better questions.
Oh, just
I want some people with a brain here.
Unbelievable.
I want some people with a brain.
We just had the best fan in all of wrestling on here. Now you're going to treat our fans like their
hey,
questions
you know what?
don't matter.
They should take a lesson.
Oh, okay.
Get a little passion going.
Yeah,
they're your fans. So again, they're stale. They're corporate.
You're drunk with power. That's the problem. Okay.
Listen, I have to be drunk on something to deal with this.
Oh God.
So this is what I want to talk about, because this goes into what we were talking about earlier, and we talked about this off air. I did my musings. I will call you up and muse to you, and you have to listen to me.
That's the problem.
So you saw the final segment of Raw this week. I also always make sure to text you on a Monday and say, how's the 8th hour of Raw doing?
You're a piece. Oh my Buddha. This guy is just.
So you saw the final segment of Raw this week, right?
Sure.
And the show ended with 3 guys in the ring in a sort of a showdown.
Yep.
A high noon,
which was very
showdown.
Exciting, by the way. That was an awesome cliffhanger.
Everyone likes a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Who were the 3 guys in the ring?
Well, please, it was Brock Lesnar,
yeah,
Goldberg,
sure,
and The Undertaker.
There you go. All these men have an epic stare down.
Yes.
Cliffhanger.
Yes.
On Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
In the year 2017.
That's right.
When these guys haven't been relevant since probably 1997. Part-timers. Are they not part-timers? Are they not sort of hired guns? Are they not background players brought in?
So what?
Well, where's New Day?
Oh boy.
Where are the big names? Where are the modern guys? Strowman. Where are they? Where are the up-and-comers?
They were on the show.
Where's the current... Where are they involved in the pitch for the next version of their show? Where are they in the cliffhanger? Nowhere.
I don't even understand the point that you're trying to make here, because look.
The point is that Vince, once again, is giving the current generation of wrestlers the shaft.
All right, time out.
And he's bending them over a barrel to try and squeeze a nickel out of them.
You're not going to do this.
But he knows when push comes to shove,
you're not going to do this.
He's going to pull out what works. What works is a good gimmick. And what won't he give the new generation? A good gimmick.
Stop it right now, okay? Like we got to dial.
I can tell by the look on your face, you know.
No, the look on my face right now is because I can't believe you just actually said that. First and foremost, you're talking about 3 icons in professional wrestling.
Yes.
Okay,
they're from many years ago.
In the history of wrestling, you always showcase your icons, man. That's what you do. These are the guys who got you to the dance. Now, as far as
let me put it to you this way. All right. Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh, God.
Game 7 of the World Series. All right.
Baseball.
Game 7 of the World Series. Okay. We're 2 outs. We're going to bring in Carl Yastrzemski at 85 years old.
Hey, you know what? He probably pretty good.
We're going to put him in center field.
He probably's pretty good.
We're going to put him out there.
Yeah.
And we're just going to bring him out just because, boy, he's a name.
You got to be
he was good back in the day.
You gotta be
Let's throw him in there when it really counts.
Sir, let me explain something to you. The current generation stars, like New Day.
We're at the Super Bowl, okay?
Oh,
it's inside the 2-minute warning. And you know who was a great guy? Let's bring in Dan Marino.
All right, that's enough.
You know what? He's a name.
Enough.
People would love to watch it on TV.
You're making an issue out of something that is not an issue.
What I'm making an issue of, guys like that, like Yastrzemski, like Dan Marino, they have history, right? They're names people know. They're gimmicks, arguably gimmicks people know. People know them in response to their teams.
So what?
They have a power that they bring with them.
Yeah.
But it's absurd to bring them back because it doesn't make any sense because we have a new generation. And why isn't that generation being cultivated the way that previous generation was? You know why? Because it gives them too much power. If all of these new generation guys are sort of semi-nameless, they all kind of look alike, no one has any great gimmicks like the Ultimate Warrior or Undertaker or or Hogan, you can get rid of them easily. You can shuffle them out and put them in some backroom gig where you don't have to pay them much money, but you have them locked into one of your famous Vince McMahon handshake deals, and they're screwed. But if you give them power, they have a little bit of say. Undertaker, for instance. The guy's he doesn't get used as much because of injuries, but he has a little bit more pull when it comes to it because it's such a good gimmick. He could say, I'm staying home, and screw McMahon. So he's going to bring him in.
You know, you just made up this whole thing, and I just let you
it's
go
right in front of your
because you
eyes.
sound like such a complete fool
it's right
now.
in front of your eyes.
Let me tell you something.
Are the ratings for Raw where they should be?
People are not consuming television in the same way they used to. Listen, you know what ratings are up?
Like,
social media ratings are up.
I'm sure Trump's ratings are up. Trump's ratings are up too,
All
right?
Well,
because people aren't consuming it. Same thing. Are you giving me alternative facts?
You know what? Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer.
Perfect.
Okay?
He's a Hall of Famer. The McMahons are involved in the Alternative Facts Administration, and their boy Duke is now spilling alternative facts.
For the record, Kevin Owens is the WWE Universal Heavyweight
Universal.
Champion.
Here we go. Go back to that.
For the record, okay? New Day, longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions.
Who cares?
Okay, for the record.
These guys are not compelling.
Braun Strowman, he's being pushed to the moon right now.
They're not compelling. You know why? Because you were salivating when Undertaker, Lesnar, and Goldberg are staring at each other.
Why wouldn't you salivate? They're the best.
Exactly
what
my point.
What are you talking about right now?
These new guys have not a chance in hell to compete with that.
God.
Because these guys were given such a big push in their day, such cultivation, such backstory, that they can be brought in so many years later and have an impact that even the new generation can't keep up with.
You just don't even know
it's
what you're
called
talking
charisma.
about.
It has nothing to do with physicality or skill.
So now the new guys don't have charisma. Is that what are you
They're not allowed to have charisma.
Right now?
They're not allowed to have charisma.
Oh my God.
Because the more powerful they become as personalities, the more leverage they have when it comes to contract time, and Vince is never going to let that happen.
The level of disrespect that you have for Vince McMahon in World Wrestling Entertainment
he's earned my level of disrespect.
It's embarrassing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself right now. Okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now. No, the eventual winner of the Royal Rumble and the guy who's going to walk out of WrestleMania with the title is probably going to be a current generation person.
Well, I certainly hope so because these are the guys that work full-time schedules, full-time, day in, day out.
So what?
And so what? When it comes time for the big cliffhanger, when it comes time for the big respect moment, they get shafted for some part-timers.
Give me a break.
Some old guys past prime.
You are being dramatic right now.
They're past prime athletes, but they have a good gimmick.
Oh, God.
So that's all they get going for. And Vince knows what sells. If this is a money play, what sells a cliffhanger? You have to have some gravitas to it.
Okay, so what?
So he knows that his current staff can't do it because he hasn't allowed them to. He's bound them. He's bound them.
I can't believe you would have the audacity to blame Vince McMahon
He's
for this.
Bound
That's
them.
it. I'm wrapping this up.
Doesn't he run everything?
Listen,
you said he runs everything.
Thank you to Dave Wills for joining us for this wonderful show this week.
I bet Dave agrees with me.
No, Dave wouldn't agree. You join us next week, folks, where hopefully the Boston Bad Boy gets some sense because he's being very disrespectful this week, and I'm just sick of it.
You just don't like reality.
No, I'm sick of you right
take your
now
alternative
because I can't believe you would even talk
misspeak,
about Vince McMahon like that.
You have your own
because
set
you
of
shouldn't
facts.
be
It's
talking
just
about
like,
a guy.